disability, which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Hello, this is P. Fitz, and for the next hour I'll be reading from the March 13th issue of the Tribune Sentinel covering Niagara County and Grand Island on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Stoned house owner excited to join Lewiston community. There's an article by Joshua Maloney and a photograph showing a number of workers behind the counter in the new licensed recreational cannabis dispensary. It's now open on Center Street. Lewiston's stone house may be gone, but its stoned house is just getting going. The licensed recreational cannabis dispensary opened February 25th and will celebrate a grand opening March 20th, right behind the former Stonehouse Bar at 755 Center Street, Suite number 7. Customers are learning that even more than the edibles and topicals, tinctures, and concentrates available at Stonehouse, co-owner Angela Posentides wants them to leave with an education. I do really want to lean into education, she said Friday. I did hire someone who is a cannabis educator, and she will be our outreach coordinator. She will be putting together events for the public where you can attend and you can learn about the different products and really get to know about what exactly goes into cultivating cannabis, what it looks like when it's processed and distributed to dispensaries, and what to look for based on everybody has their own individual needs and desires and their preferences, and there's something for everyone. Posentides is a micro business license holder, which means that I'm licensed through New York State to grow and sell legal licensed cannabis, she said. They allotted me a certain amount of square footage, which is being built out. It's going to be in Lockport eventually. Eventually, we will be a shop where you can come in and buy some Stoned House flower or Stoned House pre-rolls. We'll have products that are exclusive to us. But right now, we are collaborating with licensed brands in New York State that have cultivated and grown in New York State. She said every brand and product that we carry needs to be tracked and compliant with New York State. That is the biggest thing that separates us from other places. Every single product that you purchase, you can be assured has been tested, and you have access to the lab results to every product. The educational component stretches beyond basic cannabis comprehension, which is ideal as customers might feel overwhelmed when seeing the Stoned House's myriad retail offerings. When they walk in, obviously, the first question is, what are you in for? What are you looking for? Posentide said. Based on their answer, whether they say that they like to smoke, okay, well, we'll come look over here. We have flower and we have pre-rolls. By flower, I'm pretty sure they mean buds. And we have pre-rolls or concentrate oil. if you prefer going that route. Say if somebody doesn't like to smoke, maybe it's too harsh on their lungs and they want to take an edible, okay, great. We have a ton of options for edibles. We have gummies, we have chocolate, we have drinks. There's so many new things that are coming out. Next, do you have an idea of what you're looking for? Posentine said, I'm having trouble sleeping. Okay. Do you like to smoke, or do you prefer to take an edible? I prefer edibles. Okay. Come over here and I'll show you the edibles that we have. You probably are looking for something that is more indica leaning. There's sativa, hybrid, and indica. That it's way more in depth than just those three things, but there's that's how everything is kind of labeled based on sativa, hybrid, or indica. Stonehouse staff will explain the differences in these strains and what consumers can expect, be it an energy boost or a more relaxing experience. If you would like to hear the rest of this article, please contact Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service at 716-821-5555. Updates on Grand Island questions. On the radar, Radisson, Aldi, Rite Aid site, and Shoreline Trail. At the top of this article, there's a picture of the former Radisson Hotel at 100 Whitehaven Road. It's on the verge of becoming a first-class hotel under the direction of Israeli investors. There's a photo, I just mentioned that. The article is by Karen Kharkiv. So what's up with Radisson? When will Grand Island get its Aldi? What's next for the former Rite Aid site? When will the island be fully tied into the Shoreline Trail? Town of Grand Island Supervisor Peter Marston recently gave some succinct and timely answers to these questions. And in a wide-ranging interview, Comprehensive Plan Review Board Chair Jim Sharp gave a behind-the-scenes look at some of those same issues. Radisson buyers. It's pretty early yet, Marston said on March 2nd, of the process in getting new ownership for the former Radisson Hotel. Last October, Councilmember Jose Garcia told NFP an offer was made and it was accepted. There was a contract signed and it's rolling. Vienna Lorendi, associate broker affiliated with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services Grand Island branch, represents the buyers in an Israeli investor group that also owns other property in New York, Western New York. Right now, contractually, we're not closing until December of 26. There's no site plan that's been submitted to the town yet, so there's really nothing to report, Lorendi said. Nothing is set in stone at this point with the exception of price. Lorendi said she couldn't reveal that. She said both Marston and Sharp met with the buyers. We had really a long meeting. It might have gone almost 5 hours at the town while my customers were here. She said her customers have not yet offered a press release on the purchase. Garcia also met with the Radisson's prospective buyers. Their vision really fits in with what we think it should be. A mixed-use type space that has something for the community and has something for our snowbirds and maybe a place for our seniors to go. Not that it would be seniors specifically, he said, pardon me. They plan on renovating the entire building. The suggestion was made to do it as it was done before, but maybe more first class. It was what they'd like to do. And they were very receptive to all of those conversations. Sharp said he strongly suggests that in addition to transforming it into a first-class facility, the developers of the former Radisson look toward providing public benefit to the Grand Island community on the Niagara River side of the property. He recommends a shoreline development area with a public pier docking and a boardwalk and a public restaurant as examples of what the redeveloped property could offer to the community. Sharp said it's part of the policies of the local waterfront revitalization program, which he created with the committee, that any big commercial projects that are on the river are required to give public benefit. A waterfront trail and kayak launching are other public access benefits that Sharp advocates for as a former hotel site is redeveloped by new owners. Sharp said the Israeli investors are working with two firms in Buffalo, one engineering firm and one architectural. One of them is Labella, which is the same group that Sharp worked with to develop the town's recreation master plan. Sharp noted the investors have some real futurist concepts that they want to deploy in their hotel, and I think they're pretty cool. And it's concepts that are happening all over Europe, so they kind of bring in some really interesting concepts to Grand Island with their hotel. Sharp said it's going to be an exclusive hotel and basically long-term renting. He said the buyers are using both Israel and local companies to work on the hotel project here. The 263-room hotel has been closed since late 2022, following a $6.15 million sale to Haven 100 Project LLC. That is a group that includes Michael Conroe of Orchard Park, based LEV 8 Architecture, and J.B. Earl Company of Provo, Utah. Marston said at the town board's March 2nd workshop meeting that the sellers of the Radisson have been granted historic status, which would play a role in how approximately 50-year-old facility could be redeveloped. Back in November of 23, Conroe said, "It's a one-of-a-kind building that we don't believe is really going to be replicated or allowed to be replicated on the island. It's one of the original planned communities on the island. It was catering to tourists who came from all over the world for years. A couple of famous people stayed here, so with that, they agreed with our argument that it was a historic building." Aldi delay due to property issues. The status quo remains for the Aldi supermarket coming to Grand Island, Marston said. The store is still on track to come to the south end at 1661 Grand Island Boulevard, corner of Staley Road. But it has some red tape to get through before that happens. While initial reports in early 24 indicated plans were progressing, well, later in 2025, updates suggested the project was facing delays related to property issues. "We really want them to be successful," Marston said. "We want them to stay. We want them to be a nice-looking building. We want them to be part of us." According to a public hearing in May of 24, on an incentive zoning application filed by Aldi, The proposed project will involve demolishing the existing building, which formerly was a tourist information center, pavements and other site improvements in the northwest corner of the site. The building has a square footage of 19,600 plus, I'm guessing, square feet, while the zoning code allows for a maximum of 15,000 square feet, according to the incentive zoning application. Auto parts store interested in Rite Aid site? Marston said he had an inquiry from an auto parts store indicating interest in the former Rite Aid pharmacy site at 2325 Grand Island Boulevard. We got a how do you feel about this letter? Does this fit your zoning? Does it fit your compliance? If it doesn't, what doesn't fit? Marston said they showed us a plan that somebody took the time to put together. This is usually a good sign because it had no problems. He said what they showed us fit 100%. We don't know what they bought. Anyway, we don't know what they bought it. We don't know if they're going forward. We just, I get the property. We just know that they're looking. Rite Aid shuttered some 800 stores during its 2023 bankruptcy. Then in May of 25, the pharmacy chain filed for its second bankruptcy and proceeded to close the majority of its remaining 1,200 stores. The Grand Island store closed its pharmacy on June 23rd, then closed the entire store weeks later. O'Reilly Auto Parts could be a prospective buyer. In July Substack entry about adaptive reuse of commercial real estate, Jason Miller said O'Reilly Auto Parts wants to open approximately 200 new stores in 2025, own more of its real estate, and increase the number of its hub stores. The repurposing of the Rite Aid buildings is helping it hit those targets, Miller added. In a tight retail real estate market, these 2,000 former Rite Aid buildings represent the largest single block of retail real estate available for reuse and repurpose. Miller's comments can be found at substack.com /@JasonMiller15. He pointed out that a 15,000 square foot former Rite Aid in Lockport recently opened as an O'Reilly store. Manager Ashton Walker of the O'Reilly store said he was not aware of any inquiries about a Grand Island site for O'Reilly's. Stephen Beck, district manager for area O'Reilly Auto Parts stores, was unavailable for comment. As is, town center is an obstacle to trail continuity. The Niagara River Shoreline Trail has been designed to connect all the municipalities and parks along the Niagara River with a continuous off-road multi-use trail running from Lake Erie to Lake Ontario. In addition to their being a chair of the Comprehensive Plan Review Board and the town's long-range planning committee, Sharp also is a Niagara River Greenway Commissioner. The commission guides the development of Niagara River Shoreline Trail. He said the issue is that West River Trail is a Greenway trail, and then Grand Island Boulevard is also a Greenway trail. that is for us to get biking from bridge to bridge. But the section of the boulevard is not yet up ready to link up. So we've been doing every kind of shenanigan you could think of to try and get the trail from the boulevard up to the North Bridge. Sharp said, "The recommendation is that we built the sidewalk. Why can't we use the sidewalk?" Sharp said the only place where there are curbs along the section of the boulevard is from Whitehaven Road to Baseline Road intersection. They can't widen the shoulder and put a dedicated bike lane on, so therefore we recommend they use the sidewalk, Sharp said. Many communities along the route have completed the entire portion of the trail, but Grand Island's town center doesn't conform to trail specifications needed to link up for that through route. At the March 2nd reading of articles and features from the Tribune Sentinel covering Niagara County, Grand Island on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. It's 20 minutes past. At the March 2nd Town Board Workshop meeting, Marston said the Grand Island Town Center must undergo a series of changes to become part of the shoreline trail for hikers and bicyclists. He said the changes are needed on Grand Island Boulevard and parts of Whitehaven and Baseline roads in the section near Tops Plaza, which Marston refers to as the diamond of streets surrounding Town Hall. He and Highway Superintendent James Sedita recently met with the State Department of Transportation on the issue, calling for completing sidewalk access, creating parking lanes in the town center, and generally making the area near Town Hall more accessible for hike and bike travel. If you'd like to hear the remainder of this article, please contact Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service at 716-821-5555. Piper announces War Veterans Monument dedication. Hello, once again, everyone. It's with great pleasure that I announce the War Veterans Monument will be officially dedicated and blessed on Sunday, May 24th at 1 p.m. in the Oakwood section of the Lewiston Cemetery next to the Veterans Flagpole. I worked with Tom Colliser, curator at the HAL Museum, to research records about the veterans who are buried there and which wars they served in. I received a draft of the monument from Tom Farchione of Niagara Monumental Works as to what it will look like when completed. I extend my sincere appreciation for all the work and his donations to the historical projects. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks and appreciation to the members of the American Legion Portage Post 1468 for their donation, which enabled me to bring this project to completion. Their appreciation of the work I do to honor our veterans led them to donate the cost of the monument, which will honor all of veterans from the Revolutionary War through Vietnam War who are interred in the village cemetery. My friend and historian colleague Justin Higner, Town of Wheatfield historian, will reprise his role for the laying of the wreath portion of the ceremony. I invite the members of the American Legion Post 1468 and any and all veteran groups to join in the blessing and dedication ceremony, at which time the public acknowledgement of all who have donated to the project will be made. At the conclusion of the ceremony, there will be a blessing and dedication of the columbarium and memorial garden project that I have also been working on in collaboration with the mayor and village board of trustees. I'm trying to maintain it as a working cemetery as well as showing its history in the years to come. For now, I remain Russ Piper, Village of Lewiston historian. Lewiston, Lewiston Town Board reviews Axon Riverfront Park LPD station projects. Lewiston Town Board members. This is by Terry Duffy. Town Board members heard updates on the new Riverfront Park and improvements planned for the Lewiston Police Department's Creek Road Station at their Monday work session. In his liaison segment, Supervisor Steve Broderick said the town is moving forward with getting the park's restroom facilities completed as construction nears completion. The restrooms are planned for the outfall building located near the park's entrance at Lower River Road. As part of the Greenway project down there, we're trying to find a way to put the bathrooms into that building, he said. It's a structure that's part of our sewer treatment plant. It's the outfall for the water, which goes under the building. Broderick said Ed Zimmerman of the town's building department has been overseeing the project with architect and plans to move ahead for their next phase. A request by Broderick to put the Riverfront Park bathrooms out to bid was approved by the board. Also approved our improvements for the Lewiston Police Department headquarters, which the town acquired earlier from the Lewiston Porter School District. We bought the police station from Newport, Broderick said. He noted that the town was provided engineering details from Newport on problems that need to be addressed: windows, doors, and a roof. It's got a skylight that was leaking, and there were some other repairs that needed to be done. Broderick said Zimmerman is likewise steering the project with the LPD and Newport, which is now moving toward the next phase, which will involve 3 separate projects that would have to be put out to bid. Board members approved the measure. Moving back to Riverfront Park, the board reviewed and approved a lengthy resolution prepared by town attorney Alfonso Mara Banks for the town to take corrective action on projects approved earlier but not yet completed. Unfortunately, a winning bid, the company has not been successful. The project was supposed to be done on December 12th. They're nowhere near completion, Broderick said. Among projects are planned kayaking launch and a pier at the riverfront areas of the park. The town had entered into a written agreement with Murdoch Development Concrete Masonry Incorporated on May 29th, 2025. However, the work is yet to be done, Beck said. They haven't even started on the pier, as far as I'm concerned, Broderick said. It's been abandoned. They haven't been here in weeks. We asked them to basically not to do any more work at this time. Beck said some of the work completed was also found to be defective, and that attempts by the town to corrective measures for the contractor were not successful. He said next steps by the town would be action on the performance bond, which protects against the town in that, if the underlying contractor failed to perform. Excuse me. With the performance bond, Beck said, we can gain access to this insurance policy to have a contractor come in and actually finish it according to spec. He presented a resolution to the town board to declare the above-named contractor in default and for the town's contract to be terminated, with actions to be taken by the town's performance bond agreement for the project to move ahead toward completion. Board members approved the measure. For more on the town board session, visit townoflewiston.us. You are listening to readings of articles and features from the Tribune Sentinel covering Niagara County and Grand Island on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Island groups donate to Neighbors Foundation. A story by, and photos, there's a photo of presentations of checks by a number of people, 2 groups. The Neighbors Foundation of Grand Island received 2 donations on March 3rd at the Grand Island Center, Cultural Center on Baseline Road. The Service and Mercy Alliance, a mosque located on Huth Road, presented the Neighbor Foundation with $1,000 donation, while Belle Isle Entertainment and the Parish Players offered a $500 donation. The Service and Mercy Alliance, according to April Arman, a member of the mosque, Muslims are currently celebrating the month of Ramadan. This time is particularly important for us as this is a month of fasting. Fasting reminds us of what it is like to not have food and how blessed we truly are in our daily lives. In addition, during this month, Muslims are required to donate a certain percentage of their discretionary income, which is then distributed to those in need. With this in mind, we wanted to donate to the Neighbors Foundation. With the help of a generous donor who matched the money that we raised, we are thrilled to gift $1,000 to the Neighbors Foundation for use within our Grand Island community. Ramadan started on the evening of February 17th, and it will end on March 19th, a celebration of the breaking of the fast. Eid al-Fitr will be held on March 20th. Donating to the Neighbors Foundation fit in well with the Service and Mercy Alliance's mission, Arman explained. As our name suggests, our mission is to be of service to the community. One of our original goals was to open a pantry since there is a commercial kitchen within the building. However, we hope to collaborate with the Neighbors Foundation of Grand Island since they are already working with families in need. With the current economic climate, some families are struggling to make ends meet, and so we felt strongly that we wanted to support the local pantry. The Service and Mercy Alliance is a new congregation on the island. Arman explained the history of Muslims on Grand Island and how the mosque came to be. One of the oldest families that has lived on Grand Island and moved here in 1989. And many families, including herself, or myself is what he said, have lived here for at least 30 years. The community is a very diverse one, consisting of people from many different ethnicities. This includes, but is not limited to, members who, while they are American citizens, come from or have family from Turkey, Pakistan, Palestine, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh. We currently have a substantial community of families that have been on the island for 4 generations. Due to the growing number of families, we decided that it was time to find a formal place for families to be able to come and worship together rather than having to go off the island in order to pray in congregation. Our community prays 5 times daily, and congregational prayers are on Fridays. So having a mosque not only saves time, but has provided the opportunity for families to come together in support and fellowship. Our organization, Service and Mercy Alliance, has found a home at Island Presbyterian Church. We shared the space with their members for the past 3 years, and when they began considering the option of selling the building, we offered to purchase the space. While many of the congregation had attended Island Presbyterian Church since childhood, and the transition must have been challenging, the leadership expressed that they were happy that the space would be used by another faith community. We are so proud to call the island our home, and we look forward to many more years of service, serving this wonderful community together, Armand said. Belle Isle Entertainment and Parish Prayers. A check was given to the Neighbors Foundation out of the proceeds from the Joseph and Mary, the play we did in December of 2025, said Gerard Cahill, author and one of the executive producers of the play. Cahill said the entire proceeds of the play were split between the Neighbors Foundation and Knights of Columbus to help with renovations to the old St. Stephen Church and create the new Grand Island Cultural Center as a performance venue. Belle Isle Entertainment is a Grand Island nonprofit organization. We are pledged to use the profits we make to support charitable organizations in need of financial help for the good of our city. Our task our task is to produce entertainment that people can enjoy at the relatively inexpensive cost, and then grant those funds to help others however we can. He said the donation came from Karen Conboy, the executive producer and director of the show, as well as Bonnie Cahill, also an executive producer, and vice president of Belle Isle Entertainment. Personally, I always enjoy it when one of our projects is successful and we can help people who are in need with a little boost, Cahill said. People helping other people is always a worthy calling. That's what the Neighbors Foundation is all about, as is the Knights of Columbus. We can all be proud of their accomplishments, and we are always proud to help them. The Neighbors Foundation. Donations like these are essential and directly support our ability to provide confidential food assistance to Grand Island residents facing food insecurity, said Dave Conboy, president of the Neighbors Foundation. They allow us to purchase food and grocery gift cards that we provide to neighbors to help them through difficult times. Because we rely entirely on donations, community support is essential to sustaining our work throughout the year. More broadly, these gifts reinforce what the Neighbors Foundation is all about. People from across the community and from many different backgrounds and faith traditions coming together with a shared purpose. That spirit of cooperation allows us to live out our mission of neighbors helping neighbors. Conboy described the response of the Neighbors Foundation to the donations. We're profoundly grateful. The Neighbors Foundation is an all-volunteer organization, so the generosity of community partners like Belle Isle Entertainment working together with parish players in presenting Joseph and Mary means a great deal to us. Their support beautifully reflected the spirit of Christmas and the importance of caring for neighbors in need. Likewise, the donation from our Muslim brothers and sisters at the Service and Mercy Alliance was especially meaningful, as it came during the holy month of Ramadan, a time centered on charity and service to others, seeing people from different faiths and organizations selflessly come together in support of our mission is very inspiring. Some community news updates from Grand Island. Grand Island Historical Society Open House. The Grand Island Open House at Riverlee from 2 to 4 p.m. Sunday, March 15th. Community-wide cook-off. Chili cook-off. St. Timothy Lutheran Church on Staley Road is excited to host the annual community-wide chili cook-off, and it welcomes you to join Saturday from 4 to 6:30 p.m. Saturday, March 28th. To register your favorite red or white white chili for judging, fill out an online form at sttimothygrandisland.com/chili cook-off. Registration will close on March 24th and will cap at 30 chili cookers. Tickets are $5 pre-sale or $7 at the door for tasting. Available on Sunday mornings at the church or from 10:30 to 11 a.m. Either from 9 to 9:30 or 10:30 to 11 a.m. Through the Child Care Center office between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. weekdays. If you would like to come but don't plan to taste the chili, tickets can be returned in for a hot dog, chips, drink, and dessert instead. These will also be available for purchase. The evening will include activities for both kids and adults alike, including bingo, high-value door prizes, and a visit from the Easter Bunny. Niagara Falls State Park announces Indigenous Artisan Permit application. Applications for the 2026 Indigenous Artisans Permits are now available for the upcoming summer seasons. In Niagara Falls State Park, applications are available at the information desk in the Ralph C. Wilson Welcome Center, 304 Prospect Street, Niagara Falls, and the Devereaux Woods State Park Castellani building. Entries are due Monday, March. No, that's something else. Okay, sorry. Grand Island Memorial Library. Library hours are 9:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesdays through Thursdays, and 9:30 to 5 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. Library is closed Sunday and Monday. For more information, call 716-773-7124. They have a toddler story time. They have a Redo a Dog program. And they have a preschool story time. All kinds of little kids' story times. Check with the library to see. They probably have audio books and or discs. In the news, Canal Fest of the Tonawandas announces agreement with North Tonawanda to move to Gratwick Park. The Canal Fest of the Tonawandas announced an 8-day event will move to Gratwick Park for the 2026 season, occurring between July 19th and 26th. This decision has not come lightly and was decided to provide positive change to the event for the community. The Board of Directors thanks the City of North Tonawanda for its shared vision of the community event and looks forward to our continued partnership. It also wants to thank the City of Tonawanda for 41 years of support. The directors determined that due to the immovable factors, the event was not tenable in its historical location for 2026. The decision to move to Gratwick Park provides an opportunity for positive growth for the event and its member nonprofit organizations. Canal Fest of the Tonawanda is composed of over 15 nonprofit organizations from sites from the cities of Tonawanda and North Tonawanda, whose community programs and missions rely on income generated from the festival. More information for the upcoming event will be announced shortly. The event plans to include most historical attractions while looking at new, innovative ways to celebrate the community of the Twin Cities. Canal Fest of the Tonawanda is a family-focused festival. Nearly 300,000 visitors each year are drawn to its attractions of food, live music, and premier events. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Tribune Sentinel covering Niagara County and Grand Island on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. The Lewiston Public Library continues to be widely used by the community. This is an article by Jill Palermo, and in it she details what is going on at the Lewiston Public Library. What is of interest to our listeners is that they have 88,467 or 76 audio-visual items which can be borrowed, and they also have more than almost 12,000 e-books and audiobooks available to be requested. You can contact, you can either visit the library, or I don't see that they have a web address or a phone number. Sorry. But you may find something there if you can get to their source. Stella Niagara Education Park to host open house March 18th. Well, that's too late. I'm sorry. Lewiston #1 volunteers staying fit to do job and serve neighbors. Congratulations. There's a picture of fire rescue truck, Lewiston #1 fire volunteers. Excuse me. Congratulations to the members of the Lewiston Fire Company #1 who successfully completed our New Year's Fitness Challenge. Your dedication, consistency, and commitment to improving your health and strength over the past several weeks truly reflect the spirit of service that defines our department. A big shout out to the Spicy Pickle for sponsoring this fitness challenge. Oh, excuse me. That caught me by surprise. Big shout out to the Spicy Pickle for sponsoring the fitness challenge by donating prizes. Physical fitness is a critical part of being a volunteer firefighter and EMT. The work we do for our community to respond demands strength, endurance, and resilience. And your effort to train and improve ensures we can continue to respond safely, effectively, and professionally when our neighbors need us most. A special congratulations to our winning team of Rayon, Matt L, JJ, and Will. Outstanding teamwork and determination. We'd also like to recognize our most improved participants, Matt I, Spencer, and Keith. And finally, a big shout out to the Rookie Award recipient, Max. Great job to everyone who participated. Let's keep the momentum going into the rest of the year. We are in need of volunteers. As we made this our New Year's resolution, We challenge our able-bodied community to join us as their resolution. Sip, Shop, and Eat, Lewiston style, returns March 21st. There's a picture showing a poster for the Sip, Shop, and Eat. Some prizes customers can enter to win at this year's event. Merchants, including Inspirations on Canvas, invite shoppers to visit Lewiston next weekend, this coming weekend. By Joshua Maloney. The Village of Lewiston's preseason shopping and dining extravaganza is back. Sip, Shop, and Eat Lewiston style will take place from noon to 6 p.m. on Saturday, March 21st, offering customers special deals and a chance to win one or more of almost 24 prize baskets. The annual event is coordinated by Inspirations on Canvas owner, artist Kathy Pignatoro, Donna Garfinkel of Sgt. Pepper's Hot Sauces, etc., and Jamie Brower of Viva Nostalgia, members of the Lewiston Business Group. Following a historical snow-covered winter, merchants are eager to welcome patrons back to Center Street and the business district. We really rely on people, and what better place to come walk around than Lewiston, Pignatora said. Because, as I've said before, it really is, and I stand by this, it's magical here. You're just not going to find better collection of great little unique shops. You don't find much much duplicate in this village as far as the shops and then the restaurants. It's got everything you need, she added. We'd love to see everybody come out of hibernation and come back and visit the shops and the restaurants and make Lewiston so unique and special. Pignatora said local patronage is essential as the Canadian and international customers have not yet returned en masse following this country's implementation of additional tariffs. We really need you guys, she said. I think we're in such a benefit to what's special about the village. I hope they see that and that they can help support us and come back out. In the village and at Sip, Shop, and Eat, you're getting the customer service that you always get when you come to Lewiston, that you don't get at a big box store, Pignatara said. I've been to other small villages because I love to go to little villages like ours. I've walked in and out of stores and never been welcomed. I don't find that happens here very often in Lewiston. I love that. Like to be welcomed and enjoy the whole interaction, and it makes you feel special. For this year's event, you'll be going around to different shops to enter and win a basket. We ask that you visit at least 10. Have punch cards that you can get at any of the shops. We've all been given the punch cards. You don't have to buy anything, of course. We encourage you to. But if you see something nice, or we'd love to have you pick it up and take it home. But just come out and see what we have and bring some energy back to the center. Baskets are filled with gift cards and swag from local merchants. It's worthwhile coming out, Pignatora said. Hager fighting through cancer diagnosis. Benefit set for March 21st. This is by Benjamin Joe. Mark Hargar, Jr., 50, has lost 60 pounds so far as his chemotherapy treatments continue at Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Institute. There is no cure for pancreatic cancer, and the treatment he's receiving is for maintenance. Hargar explained from his home on Friday. It's basically maintenance and a battle until the treatment doesn't work anymore or your body says it's not going to handle the treatment anymore. You just got to keep on pushing through and hope they come up with new drugs, new treatments. There's some promising treatments coming out, so they're finally making some breakthroughs. Hargar's friends and family are raising funds for Hargar as he keeps pushing through. They're throwing a fundraising event from noon to 6 p.m. on Saturday, March 21st at Lewiston No. 2 Fire Hall, 1705 Saunders Settlement Road. Hargar said he'll make an appearance if he's not too tired. There will be a basket auction along with some games and food. Our friends and family are just amazing. You couldn't ask for a better group of people behind you. Everybody calls and checks in and stops by at least once a week, twice a week, 3 times. Our parents, our friends, it's been a blessing. It really has. He explains the first signs there was something wrong with him came in September of 2025 when Hargar began to feel ill. After going to a doctor, he found out there were abnormalities in his blood work in October. Then some spots on his liver were found in November. And because cancer doesn't normally start with the liver, further tests were made. Cancer was found in Hargar's pancreas. His treatments began in December when the diagnosis of pancreatic cancer was confirmed. Hargar now undergoes chemotherapy treatments twice a week, but he said he's been lucky with symptoms. The side effects of the chemo have not caused nausea or any pain, and any pain he had at first is subsiding. He does have some sensitivity to the cold, so he's mostly inside, and there's been a weight loss. Though he's gaining weight back, Hagar said the spots on his liver are disappearing, and he feels well, if exhausted. Small things are big victories, he said. You have a good blood work today, that's a huge victory. You gain some weight, that's a victory. It just changes your perspective on things. Hargar is from Niagara Falls and owns the barber shop on Ron's Place for Hair, located at 2910 Pine Avenue. He's worked there for 30 years. Currently, the business is working without Hargar, but he still goes in a couple of times a week for an hour or two. I started sweeping floors and answering phones, and I started cutting hair there. Eventually, I took it over, he said, noting he had always worked 50 to 60 hours a week. It's tough pill to take to go from there to zero. Hargar doesn't quite know how to feel, but when it comes to being on receiving side of support, you've been listening to a reading of articles and features from the March 13th issue of the Tribune Sentinel, covering Niagara County and Grand Island. We read from the Sentinel every Saturday at 4 p.m. Your reader has been P. Fitz. Thank you for listening.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have the Lockport Union Sun and Journal. At 6 o'clock, we got the Wall Street Journal Off Duty. And at 7 o'clock, we got Harper's Magazine. Stay with us for these readings and more. If you or people you know shop at any of the Dash's supermarkets, please save Dash's register tapes for radio reading. Our agency receives $2 for every $100 in Dash's register tapes. Radio reading has raised thousands of dollars so far. Anyone can drop off their Dash's tapes to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service at 1199 Harlem Road, Cheektowaga, between William and Clinton Streets. or Dash's tapes can be mailed to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service at 1199 The following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability, which